Hello, here we're going to be talking about ship cosmetics in the Sea of Thieves and how much they matter. So, first off, let's start over here in the ship cosmetics bin. The figureheads, they have almost no tactical advantage or disadvantage to them, except for the glowing ones. Those can act just like the lanterns and make it so it's easier for you to be spotted. I would recommend just staying away from the glowy bits and you'll be fine. The hole's practically the same thing. The glowy one makes it a bit easier for you to be seen, except for the Kraken one is a little bit different. It's very dark. Makes it very easy for people to tuck because people wearing tuck fits are usually dark clothes, and so the ship being dark and them being dark makes it even harder to see them, especially if they're hiding up over there. Now, besides that, just nothing too much to it, just trying to keep a light hull makes it easier to spot tucks. Now the sails, this is a big one. Most sails are flat at the bottom, just like the base sails, and we'll see how that looks here. With the flat bottom sails, you see how it's up in the corner, slopes down in the middle, and then it goes back up in the corner. That's normal, that's your average one, and you know, it's just fine. There is a couple that are much better though. Now, for a point of reference here, let's keep that. Alright? Keep that in mind. Keep that tree right there in mind. We're gonna go and switch over to the best ones in the game, in my opinion, the Kraken sails. These Kraken sails are amazing. First of all, remember how that tree, we could only really see the top bit down? It was like kind of getting clipped at the top. Now we have a huge view, and we can start to see this one over here, especially in this gap. Now, because of how the sail is, it no longer goes and droops down in the middle. Instead, it's all cut out in the middle. Get those cutouts for greater visibility, and especially this big chunk that's ripped out. That's a huge increased visibility, exactly what you want out of sails. So, if you can, try and equip some rip sails. There's a few other ones in the shop, but none as good as Kraken ones. A few might be the Inky Kraken ones, not as strong as the actual Krakens. Nightshine, Order of Souls, and this Reaper's, Blighted, you know, the stuff that shows up as ripped, it has a bit more visibility to it, but not as much as the Kraken once again. Now, next bit is the wheel. This doesn't really matter too much. The thickest one is the Omen wheel, to my knowledge. It's not bad. I mean, in my opinion, the best one is the Kraken wheel, just because of these little spikes right here. Those are much thinner than the rest of the ones. We can show it right here real quick. You know, the top post is about the same, but when you go a peg over, it's pretty darn thin. Alright, so those are the ones that I'm running if you're like, you know, you're really going for it. You want those things as thin as possible. Now, I'll skip the cannons for right now. The capstan doesn't matter at all. It's just visual stuff. Cannon flares, I haven't tested those, so I don't know. Next, the most important thing is the cannon. This is huge, huge. Makes it much harder to see if you're equipping ones that are bad. The most common cannons I see about are usually the Ashen Dragon ones. Well, let's first get our baseline with the base. Here I have it set up so you can barely see the top of the barrel, and you can completely see the flag right behind it. Now, when we switch over to the Ashen Dragon one, you're going to see how much the visibility changes. Bang. That ship, we could see it before, completely gone now. It's wiped out of existence. You have to come out here in order to see it again. Now, that's not what you want. The reason why you don't want it is because of tracking visibility, which we're going to get into momentarily here. These aren't even the worst ones in the game. I think the worst ones in the game are the max level Reaper cannons. These boys blow. Look at that. Can't even see the flag at all anymore, and it's actually chopping off some of the post that is holding it up at the top. It is horrendous for tracking. Alright, now that night is starting to fall, we're going to go and switch out the cannons back to base. Or Sea Dog's cannons. I actually like these a lot. They're just the same as the base, except for they're colored. Now here, I want you to keep an eye on the arc and how much tracking you have with these without moving the cannon. So here I go. Shoot the weary ball. Tracking, and no longer can see it anymore. Alright, that's how long you have of tracking before it goes out of your vision range. This is where the visibility really starts to kick in. We're going to move it up a notch with the Ashen Dragons one. Alright, put in another very visible ball. We're going to shoot it. Okie dokie. Please work, game. There we are. And bang, and can't see it anymore. That was much quicker than the base cannon. If you want to know where your cannonballs are going, you want to be able to track it. You can't track it with a lot less visibility, and here comes the worst ones. With these, you can't even track them at all. It's a nightmare. Look at that. No tracking at all. You don't know where that shot's gone. You have to get off your cannon in order to see where it is, and it's like, what's the point of that? Why would you get off the cannons in order to see where your cannonball is going? No. Ditch the Reapers. These are horrible. Stay with the base cannon set. Makes it much, much easier to see everything you want. And, hey, if you're doing that, you're going to have a much easier time sinking people because you know where the cannonballs are going. Thank you, and have a good one.